Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 164th episode of Candid Conversations. And we have today joining us from Johannesburg, the Honored Moocher.
That's
How
it.
you doing?
I'm okay, man. How you doing?
Living life, you know?
In the cold.
Oh, yeah, I just have to close the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, what's the temperature down there like?
We're in summer, but it's a bit chilly tonight, actually. I would
Okay.
estimate, I don't know, somewhere like 18 degrees Celsius.
80. Okay.
Yeah.
That's chilly for you? Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, at this time it's kind of like chilly.
Okay. So what's the high like on a day like today?
Maybe close to 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And our winters never get lower than -4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like we've seen -40 something
I
in
know. I
town here.
mean, that side of the world, I can believe
Yes,
it.
sir.
I was in New York once and I got to see snow properly. Well, actually, forget that. I was in Antarctica once.
Ooh,
Yeah,
ooh, boy.
that's real.
You ain't see snow
Say
like
what?
you see up there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. What brought you to Antarctica?
I was actually doing like a TV show for hip hop, like global warming.
Okay.
So I was telling the story from like a hip hopper's point of view, observing the effects of global warming at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So there were
Okay.
like three of us. There was like a yoga chick. Sorry, wait. There was a poetry chick and a yoga guy, and I was the rapper. So the story
Okay.
is told from three unique perspectives. It was called Ocean's 3.
That's an interesting project.
Yeah, I had to like write rhymes about every observation. So I couldn't really talk about it that much. Most of the time, I had to communicate it in the form of bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you find that to be a challenge or right up your alley?
It was a little bit of a challenge, just because everything is so accurate. Like very little of it was kind of abstract. So it was a month of very, very accurate documentation of my observations. So it was a great experience just because it was so different. The
Okay.
hard part was performing for the rest of the crew because it was like a very cosmopolitan mix of people. Like you had old people. There were no young people per se. They were coming from all over the world.
Hmm.
So it was just sometimes daunting thinking about what their opinion of rap is.
Ah, yeah, rap kind of, depending on the generation, doesn't have the best stigma, so to speak. So,
Yeah. But what was really cool was when you touched on something that we were all feeling on the boat. So because we're there for about a month,
okay.
and when they relate to your lyrics, they used to like applaud crazy because they were feeling that. We all were, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's not like you're spitting material that they can't relate to. We're going through it every day.
Mm,
That much was very crossover for them.
okay.
They loved it.
So it's an experience to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. Checking out the ice, that was something.
Oh man. Yeah, like well, like sitting here, like I think the furthest north I've gone is North Bay.
Okay.
That's like 8 hours north of here,
Okay.
and it's like it's a different way of life out there. Like
Uh-huh.
it's just like a slower pace,
Okay.
but it's still fun. Like there's so much to do. There's the water to explore. There's the trails to explore. You know what I mean? You actually get to see the stars at night.
Oh,
So
that's
in
beautiful.
that regard, it's nice. But me, I was born in the country and raised
Uh-huh.
in the city.
Okay.
So to go to the woods is like it's not hard for me, but I'm so accustomed to some of these privileges and luxuries that I can't picture like what it would be without some of them. You know what I mean? It's like I went camping the other day and I explained my like what I thought was camping to some of my friends. They're like, no, that's not camping, that's glamping. You were in a cottage. You weren't in a tent.
Glamping. That's funny. That is funny. Like, what is that? Like glamorous, right? Like you're
Yeah,
glamping,
glamorous camping basically.
glamorous camping. Yeah, I'm probably like you, like that level of outdoors where you have to have like all the tools. Like you got one of those survival knives. You're the guy that's got everything they need. Yeah, that's never really been me. Especially because like my skin gets irritated pretty easily. So if I'm in a situation where I don't have the city life luxuries, I'll break out, you know? So that always influenced just how much of camping I was ever going to do. I used to like doing it as a romantic getaway though, like if we were all like with people, we would take them out for the weekend and like keep it short, nothing like a week. 2 days at the most or a day.
Okay.
Then the erecting
Yeah.
of the tents wasn't fun either. Like I used to take so long to do that because it's like work. So all the ladies would get upset. Like, okay, wait, it's getting really dark. Can we just get this thing up so we could chill? And we'd usually be drinking at that time. Saying, relax, we gonna be fine.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. All right. So yeah, I gotta shout out MJ's Hip Hop Connects for, you know what I mean, connecting us and making this possible. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
MJ.
It is what it is. But yeah, so I want to know this album that
Mm,
we have here. Let me get the title of this here, man. I have the title of the album right here. Then I open another screen and then it disappeared on me. Give me a second.
yeah,
Red Mercury.
yeah,
Yes, yes. And then I have Red Mercury, the Almighty's title, journal. Sorry.
yeah. That's right.
Okay, okay. So, talk to me a bit about this. How did this come to be?
It's really like music I'd been working on for about 4 years. I say that because I suppose the oldest song is about 4 years, but I made most of the other joints over the last 18 months, and I played around with a bunch of titles, but Red Mercury stuck just because I started researching it. I'm pretty fascinated by like X-Files type stuff. I enjoy a lot of sci-fi stuff, and when I stumbled upon Red Mercury, the first bit of my research didn't really reveal anything about whether it was real or fictional, and it was just really intriguing investigating the aspects of it that people believe are real and the parts which are mythological. So I kind of like incorporated that into the album because it was really fitting to some of the material. So Omidas is my other alias. It's like Professor Omidas. So it kind of is like a spin on his research, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So he keeps
Oh,
a journal about what he's finding.
that was the intro.
That was the intro. Yeah.
Was the intro. Okay, okay. Starting to put it together now. Starting to put it together now. There's levels to this. There's levels to
Yeah.
this, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear him detailing those levels in this? Now,
Hey, man.
yeah. Yeah, no, no. I like I'm liking the vocabulary, you know what I mean? It's from an intellectual perspective.
Oh,
So
it's always
yeah.
interesting hearing what people think because you spend so much time on it. and sometimes you don't even get to play anything for anybody, and your first opinion of it is, on stages like this, or from those that buy it, and they start
Mm-hmm.
telling you which tracks they vibing with. You'd have had them joints for like I told you, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing what somebody is vibing with is always so like insightful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Like, and that's the thing. Like, there's times where songs you think are, you know what I mean, what off, whatever, you know what I mean, you just did them to do them kind of thing, and you don't really mess with them. And people really gravitate to them, you know what I mean? And the songs that you put your heart, body, and soul into, and people are like, eh. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wait a minute though. Wait a minute though.
Yeah. 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 I mean,
Like,
I tend to I obsessed a little bit over this one. So every song on there has a deep connection with me. I'm not really in the habit of ever putting out something I haven't vetted, just because I suppose if it got heavy criticism, it would kind of be one of those things like, well, I knew that might happen, kind of thing.
mm-hmm. Where me, I know this is bad for me to say,
Hmm.
but I like to give people something to criticize because
Okay.
I know they're gonna criticize me anyways. There's 7 billion people in the world. You're not telling me none of them have an opinion on what I'm doing. So,
Yeah.
I do my best. Don't get me wrong. I when I endeavor to do
Okay.
anything, I endeavor to do my best. It's not like I'm out there purposely screwing up so they can talk about it. But like, I'll I'll like, for example, like even with the podcast that I do,
Hmm.
like the formula is different. I give more freedom to the guest than your standard interview or podcast. You know what I mean? It's different like that. I try to get to know the person for who they are instead of trying to reveal some controversial, you know what I mean, situation to expose them for, to expose them as something that they're not. You know what I mean? Where on mainstream TV, as soon as we get somewhere, you know what I mean, they want to undermine you or undercut you or throw you under the bus. It's like, why can't you just talk about the men and the good that they're doing? The women and
Well,
the good that they're doing.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up because uh, I've never understood that because I've never spoken to anybody in your field, like
Okay.
podcasting, interviewing, and like when you see stuff of people famous people, and it's usually a clip where they're getting really irritated by the line of questioning.
Yeah.
You start to process a lot of stuff, right? Like, why did they get the questions beforehand? Why did
Mm-hmm.
they agree to the interview? And obviously, you conclude that, well, he couldn't have known those questions were coming up and still show up and still get upset. So this is happening in the moment, and he's being sabotaged. I've never understood what the interviewer is his agenda is. Is it just like a messed up personality where he likes to see that come out of people, or why would they do that?
That's part of it. Control is another part of it. I mean, a lot of people in the mainstream media like control over images and like they like to be able to dictate because they can't do what that person is doing. They like to be
Yeah.
able to influence how they're perceived. You know what I mean? Because if I
Okay.
can, if I can influence how someone is perceived, then I can determine whether or not they're accepted or not. And if I don't want them to be accepted, all I have to do is say nope. And that's how some of the people out here are moving. Like there's a group out here right now that's moving
Hmm.
fucky towards me. You know what I mean? I have a show booked. I'm gonna put it out there. I have a show booked, right? I've had
Yeah.
this show booked for 2 months. Last minute, this other group wants to come and book the show on the same day that we have the show booked and take the earlier slot, which pushes us back an hour and a half. Now I have two shows that day.
Okay.
So one of my shows is being pushed back, which means my other show is going to suffer, or the other show I'm supposed to
Mm,
be at is going to suffer. And I'm just supposed to take it on the chin. I
mm,
can't. I can't. I just I just am not built like that. I'm not like I'm not built to take this form of disrespect. You could have come to me and said, "Hey, let's work on something together."
Right.
You know what I mean? You could have
Mm.
picked another day. You could have picked another venue.
Damn.
You know what I mean? And I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
take that as disrespect when you know who I am. It's not like you don't know me. It's not like we haven't worked together before. It's not like you
Mm.
can say my name in this region and not be heard. You know what I mean? So that's the
Yeah.
kind of disrespect that none of us should be facing. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty much tired of it. That's why I want to, you know what I mean, give you credit where credit is due for creating this catalog of work. You know what I mean? Like it's no short order to put out 17 tracks. You know what I mean? To do that in 18 months is definitely commendable. You know what I mean? Because like that's basically a month a track. And what people
Yeah.
don't realize is it takes time to cultivate the track. Like you can write, record, and whatever, but you have to cultivate something for it to be received by the masses.
No doubt. And you got
Yeah, yeah,
your own checks, right? Like personally in that cultivation process
yeah.
and getting it from one point to the other. Now I feel you, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
I feel you. Plus,
Yeah.
like, there's other stuff you're doing too, right? Like,
That's
you
the thing.
know,
It's not like you're just working on the music, fam. So give me
yeah.
okay. So when aside from the music, what is a day in the life of Honored Moocher?
It's very family based. I'm a father of one, a husband, so it's regular routines that when you have those types of responsibilities, right? Like,
Yep.
I live with my wife. We take our kid to school, share responsibilities.
Yep.
So a lot of the time, I am sneaking time away to create. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like it's got to work with whatever routine we've got going. So a lot of the
yeah.
time, like most musicians, I wait for them to go to sleep to start working on some ideas.
Okay.
So I produce the music myself. So a lot of the time, my creative process is quite extensive. If I'm not crate digging, I'm making, beats. If I'm not doing that, I'm writing rhymes. If I'm not doing that, I'm recording rhymes. If I'm not doing that, I'm post producing the thing. So if I was outsourcing, it would probably be easier, just because I'd have more time. But I like to
But
cut costs if I have the skill set. So there's
exactly.
that. But I'm also a businessman. So like in the week, I'll go into the office, and it's an investment based, um, work. So it helps a lot with the music because I look at the music from that perspective as well. Like, you know, they work hand in hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Mm.
And you?
Myself, I am
Yeah.
involved in several endeavors. Namely, a multimedia production studio and a magazine.
Cool.
Excuse me. So,
Cool.
Culture Shock magazine issue 26
Hmm.
is going to be available. Is available now. I have to get the link posted on the website. The link's posted on the website, sharetheshock.ca. If you
Hmm.
go to sharetheshock.ca and click on the link, you will see the, excuse me, you will see the magazine for the tail end of last year. It's a little bit late because, well, I'm still recovering from the tail end of last year. But no, honestly, I'm telling you, like we've been like from New Year's, no, from Christmas Eve every Friday. No, it was way before that. But like, yep, yep. Yeah,
Like it was crazy.
that's my security right there. But yeah, so no, really, it was
No,
just
really, we got
it
crazy.
was just like 4 or 5 of us chilling on a Friday evening, and then
Uh-huh.
it ballooned to like 10, 15. Then all of a sudden it was like a potluck dinner, and the neighbors were all over. And we were bouncing from my house to her house to their house. We had someone in a horse head come over.
No, it was crazy.
It was
Whoa.
hot, bro. Yeah, someone came over in a horse head with a whip. I was just like,
What?
that's a culture shock,
Yo, so many long
That
nights.
sounds like fun.
bro. It was insane. It was wild. Like we did karaoke. Oh man,
Whoa.
what else did we do? Like
Jam session,
jam
like
session. Like we were
freestyles,
freestyling. We were
everything.
like, oh my gosh, so much happened, and it was just like we're getting ready for it again this week.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have some pork loin soaking in apple juice.
Okay.
I don't know if you've
So-
ever cooked pork in apple juice before, but
No.
if you let that soak for a good day or two, it is the
Uh-huh.
juiciest ever. Juicy.
Really?
What I did, I learned this. Okay, because I've always seen the pork with the pig with the apple, right? So I'm
Okay.
just like, okay. So I saw apple juice on sale and I saw ribs on sale. I was like,
Okay.
okay, I bought the two of them, and as I'm looking at them in the cart, I'm like, I'm gonna marinate the ribs in the apple juice. And fam, when I tell you I marinated those ribs in the apple juice, and they were
Uh-huh.
juicy, they were the juiciest ribs I've ever eaten. I slow cooked them for like 3, 4 hours in the
Okay.
apple juice with some spices. You know what I mean? I spiced the taste. And then I
Yeah.
threw it on the barbecue for like a 10, 15 minute. And then when it had the good char on it, took it back
Yeah.
off, slapped it up with some barbecue sauce. Reggie, I cut it up and I'm telling you, I put it in front of people. I left the room and I came back and half the plate was done. I had to grab some because it was
Nice.
two full racks. Two full racks.
I'll put you on
Yeah.
the gas recipe kit.
Yeah.
So my mom does this, okay?
Hmm.
So she gets pork chop,
Yeah.
bone or not, whatever.
Yeah.
And she makes a sauce,
Yeah.
apple juice,
Okay.
sour cream,
Really?
okay? Weirdest combination.
Yeah.
Weirdest, right? Here's the thing though. Then she does they're like a twist noodle.
Okay.
Boils those. You throw pork chop and some of the sauce on top.
Yeah.
Holy.
I'm gonna
And
use.
then you do that and you put it in the oven, right? And you let like the sauce cook in with like slowly. I gotta get
Okay.
the recipe directly.
Like
for
she
you.
gonna have to make that for me first for me to try because I don't want to try to mess it up. That sounds like some science right there.
It's
It sounds like some science.
My mom, she's got it. She's
Okay,
got it.
okay. All right. So yeah, like there's one space, like wherever you can find a space. There's one right there, and there's one down the hall. Just replace the ones that are already there. Sorry, I'm getting some incense lit because I already lit some other scents, and
I could tell.
you know. So like let's talk about Red Mercury some more. Okay, what's the story behind track 2?
Black Pride. That's Black Pride, right?
Sir.
Yeah. Um yeah, man, like it's kind of like black exploitation-y, you know. I don't know if you were ever into like some black exploitation. Where I'm from, we didn't get a lot of that stuff. And when I went to New York the one time, I spent like 6 months out there. So I found there was this one video store and they had every black exploitation movie ever made. And when I looked at how many they were, I just remember thinking, I don't have enough time in the States to get through all that. So I started trying to like, catch up on it. So subconsciously, when I was writing the song, I think that was kind of my lyrical interpretation into black exploitation, right? Like, because the imagery in my mind was just like, Jim Kelly, like Dolomite, not literally, but in terms of the emotions and the edginess of it, it's kind of got that, and how animated it is in a sense. Yeah, that's the best way I could describe the track. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, let's see what the music has to say.
I want money you can't count. I want money you can't count. I want money you can't count. Get up, lose your mind and just bounce. These cats ain't got scales. Get up, when the chips are down, I'm ill. Get up. 5 chances to dance, 5 dances. The anger in the blood of certified panthers. Yes, black pride giving sanctified answers. The 5 cops pulling you over with 5 handguns. Date phase went on honeymoon for 8 days. 8 waves by the ocean, had to hit it 8 ways. Great days, hit the barbershop for straight fades. Stayed blazed, didn't stop the kid from getting straight A's. 27 scars, cars, 27 guards. 27 died of 27, 27 stars. Nelson Mandela told me 27's hard. 27 bars guarded by like 27 guards. Great lays on the regular with great babes. Paved ways for menages over 28 days. Great praise guaranteed to use a great phrase. 8 ways, bet your favorite rapper used to take days. I want money you can't count. Get up, lose your mind and just bounce. These cats ain't got scales. Get up, when the chips are down, I'm ill. Get up. 5 chances to tap 5 dances. The venom in the blood of certified panthers. Black pride sanctified 5 answers. The 5 cops pulling you over with 5 handguns. Life stories too dark to try to tell fans. I don't smile a lot, I might hide fangs. Fly check, fly crib, and fly rides, man. Live and let live, these are words I die by, man. From small houses with yards to fly mansions. Dreams of a hustler with an iPad in his backpack. Scrap that, tell me who can match that. Clap that, smoke that, in an Uber hatchback. Pack that, need protection from the poems I'm writing to myself, reacting to the wrong line. Yes, 22 affairs, 22 ideas. Hot lit chandeliers, telling jokes over beers. Action from the poems I'm writing to myself, reacting to yes, 22 affairs, 22 ideas. Hot lit chandeliers, telling jokes over beers. 22 ideas, hot lit chandeliers, telling jokes over beers. I want money you can't count. Get up, lose your mind and just bounce. These cats ain't got scales. Get up, when the chips are down, I'm ill. Yeah, I want money you can't count. Get up, lose your mind and just bounce, bounce. These cats ain't got scales. Get up, when the chips are down, I'm ill. Yo,
What I call 16
nigga.
Alright. So I gotta play 16 bars, your verse, your chorus, and then we're gonna play the next track.
No doubt. Yo, niggas from the bureau. Sun's bright, raps feel the mesh in the flesh. Not us. The immortal god of rap from Jupiter's son. Spawn a beast kid that isn't scared of you and your guns. And right before it slaughters you, I heard it usually hums. Life would deal the worst of cards like a croupier thumb. Some niggas like the Terminator in an alley. Chasing Sarah Connor, leaving bodies out in Cali. In the valley, feel the form. Strong, shady like a leprechaun. Going greedy, trying to con niggas out in Lebanon. Future past stars, time travel, NASCARs, crash cars, rap stars. Being cast in Asgard. Ask God to give us more. Banish it, man, I'm sick, handle it. Dates of death I can't predict, I balance it or cancel it. Dancing with the size of clouds grow, falling out the sky slow at Roswell. Hacking in the files, yo. I'm blowing Royce, though my noise go annoy foes. Toys blow, killer pussy, making sure your boys know. Gory when born again, I'm Dorian. Check my metachlorians, Anakin, and Morgan. Told again, I couldn't caution him. Hit his ass and then I told him. Most on the most, still at large, out on like back. We don't sacrifice cause we don't ask once to pray on our posters. Say prayers, we don't put no reflection in the deck on mirrors. We don't boasters on the most wanna posters still at large out in the gone guys most posters still at out in the desk gone past scars back. I don't ask say a prayer. We with no reflection in the mirror. But last nobody tripped the deep and Riddick trying to catch
is as high as $800,000 kilogram were reported. For the lowest per kilogram, claimed it was of great importance.
Don't be a dummy twice and don't sign them contracts. Kid, unless the money's right, independent artists are more precise than archers are. Father figure fathers, authors, fathers of the hardest bars. Mama
Mama didn't raise a fool, boy. Stay humble as a new boy. Instead of going to school, boy, what the fuck you gonna do, boy? Don't be a dummy twice and don't sign them contracts, kid, unless the money's right. And artists, more precise than archers are. Father figure fathers are the fathers of the hardest bars. Mama didn't stay humble, boy. Instead of going to school, boy, what the fuck? How sick is the as a bits. Now and raise a fool, boy. My fuck you gonna do, boy? It's like them Vietnam office. This rap shit's my shit, yo. My pen game's the shit, so they calling me the future. I'm blockchain and crypto. Them record labels scammed you. Don't be a dummy twice and don't sign them contracts, kid, unless the money's right. Them record labels scammed you. Don't be a dummy twice and don't sign them contracts, kid, unless the money's right.
It's just an addiction now.
I keep my money in a safe, only I can crack, baby, rap, baby. Got you shook like a crack, baby, back, baby. Call me Goldie on the Mac, baby, tap 80 horses in a row like that, baby. Prisoner with the crap, baby, mad, baby, and I'm so the fat lady laughs. Maybe I should let you breathe until they clap, baby, baby, kill you. Not a hobby, job, life like a game of chess. I'm Bobby Fit and me down, nigga. If I stop, think about it, man. I'm big rapper. You sick and you ain't you shit if you feel the baby working so my family eats. Rappers not it's a job the mind, but you ain't sister big. Your crew ain't lit. Your man nice bishop, you ain't shit. Your feet are too small shit. If you gonna be fit, they could belong. Eric, a sample won't cost the mass cast go your lip. I go on soft, on Eric off. But you rapping, I can't don't feel it. These marathon lyrics, I shouldn't having a ball with it. Here for your protection, like my sword collection and the boogie. The best of the time at you, man. I be villain victim skin tells the cops to sketch you. The ambulance is falling trail behind the you need the vet. The belly and legs, how we form connection. Pounds, I'm a social village. You can't even touch this wall. My verses are considered.
Uh-oh. The host disappeared on us. They hope to get some fare on us. The host just disappeared on us. Coordinates are here, bombs. The Honored Moocher to shoot you. Put on the suit to suit you. Culture Shock Radio's the Moocher.
You got better handle them then. This is what I do to boss when you hand me a pen. First black artist to outpaint Picasso with his metaphors and might win the lotto. Murder users and make mics, Tomato crack pipes in the alley with snakes like mulatto. Gotta get this money, got my guns up, my guns out, it's on. Gotta get this money, sing my lungs out and leave them in awe. Think thoughts at the speed of light, so you'll never find me chilling in the slow lane. Holla at me if you want some, baby, I'm gonna give it the dope game. Body in clothing, looking like a black Greek god, Ronnie Coleman. I'm Coleman, the hard Conans, I like the Romans. Omen, I'm Damien Thorne. My nigga chosen, boasting, tough talk, taking token, smoking, spent 6 weeks in the ocean. Meat freak, feel heat when I'm close, deep sleep, reach geek, switch beats, man, I'm open. Flow wet in the zone, water polo. Trying to outwit me with these bones is a no-no. Dead zone, nigga, if I'm dead, that's a no-go. Wanna spar, got a feeling you gon' be a no-show. Fit dynasty shit. On stick figure, bitch nigga, slick a chick picker. He a rich nigga, baller whip switcher. S4s, the Audis, doing Porsches, the BMs. Honeys wanna see them, those who ain't him trying to be him. Bad nigga, rap nigga, paper stack, gripper, cash gripper. You can eat a bag of baby dicks, you that nigga, laugh, last chillin'. Cops come, I'm villain. The only cat with dirty money, lamping in the building with a bad bitch. Good kisser, shit, I see them flicks. If I was broke as fuck, she'd suck some other nigga's dick. Millionaire, billionaire, the mansion, the women there. Money in the tub, I take a bath and try to swim in there. Looky here, done, I think a damn bit I'm debonair. Hide the contraband, is safe and never tell them where the money is. Rap money's rolling in, saliva like petroleum. The boss bitch Napoleon. Get your paper, make your money, man. Broke niggas don't, guys like me make a plan. Say my name 5 times and it comes. Always take cake, no I never leave crumbs. Get your paper, make your money, man. Broke niggas don't, guys like me take a chance. Say my name 5 times and it comes. Always take cake, no I never leave crumbs.
All right. Okay, so you have a vibe still, fam. There's a serious vibe going on with the tracks, man. I didn't know what I was getting into. You know what I mean? I thought I had an idea. You know what I mean? 154 episodes. I never judge. You know what I mean? I always like to have my preconceived notions, if I have conceit, if you will. Just, you know, and I knew I was getting some high quality music because of the source.
Right. High quality music because of the source. My metachlorians indicate I'm strong with the force. Stay on the route, never going off course.
There you go. All right, cool. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I knew I was getting some heat from because of the source, but I didn't know what kind of sauce was gonna be on it. I didn't know how spicy it was gonna be. You know what I mean? And like real talk, it's refreshing. It's good to hear. You know what I mean? The cadence and the delivery, and it's not like, I don't know, man. It's different though. It's different. It's not like that. Like you're rapping on that gang shit. You're talking about like inspirational stuff that people need to learn from, and you know what I mean. From what I've gathered so far, and like the struggle and some of the struggle, but like you know how to overcome it more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
You hit it right on the nail, man.
I commend you, and that's just the first half. That's just the first half. You know what I mean? You can find this on all streaming platforms. I reason.
Yeah. I'm mainly a Bandcamp type guy because it gives you the option to pick how much you want to like pay for it if you're gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's a
recently
good
got
one.
onto Bandcamp and got put onto the culture, so I kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they have an artist friendly way to go about things.
Pretty much, it's
Yeah.
very focused on the artist's needs, that sort of thing.
And they've been around for a minute still. I remember when they first started. So to see where they've come from since then is commendable.
Yes. I think one of the things that's interesting is like a lot of people ask me why I didn't put out music earlier. And it's because, like, in your hemisphere,
Yeah.
people are more accustomed to e-commerce. You know what I'm saying? Purchasing stuff online is not that unheard of. It's, because you look at the basics, right? Like 10 years ago, most people didn't even feel safe. And this is in South Africa, by the way. 10 years ago, people didn't feel safe putting credit card details online. Like, so if you were trying to tell them, yo, man, go check my shit out on Bandcamp, they'd get there and then they're like, yo, man, I'm not really comfortable doing it in this way. Also, stuff like, I remember PayPal in 2014 meant you had to have a credit card. Like, debit cards didn't work. And
Yeah.
most of the people I know don't even have credit cards. Like, the cultures are different. You get what I'm saying? And where you're from, everybody probably has a credit card. So
Credit card, debit card, rewards
yeah,
card. You know what I mean?
yeah.
ID card, access card. It's like
Jeez.
it's mad.
Whoa. I don't even know what all those other ones do. So I had to wait for things to get to a point where people are just also very familiar with these DSPs, the digital streaming platforms and your bank camps, so yeah.
Okay.
Just a bit of a backstory on that.
True. All right. Well, we're just past the halfway part of the show. And this is where I like to flip the script. And when I flip the
Okay.
script, that's where I give the guest the opportunity to be the host and ask any questions they may have or make any statements they may have. So, time to flip the script. You have the floor.
Right. So tell me a bit about you, man. Like, just your background with music, for example.
From with music, I fell in love when I made my first sound on a trumpet at 8 years old. I was like performance wise, I've been performing since I was about 4 years old. I turned 39 this year.
Okay.
But when I was performing, I saw the band, and when I saw the trumpet, it was just like I want that. I like the sound that it makes. I like, you know what I mean. I'd like to be able to do that. So, but the school I went to, we had to be a senior in order to join the band. So from kindergarten to grade 3, I was just itching to play trumpet, and then I was learning everything I could. Then I played trumpet for elementary, saxophone for middle school, drums for high school. Then I started producing in college.
What were you
Actually,
making?
no, I lie. I was making beats, but I started producing when I was 13. I started official, like it became official when I went to school in 2004. So
Right.
yeah. So
Um, what did I want to ask you? Like, okay, so I think it's really commendable how focused you stayed because those are impressionable ages, you know? And to have kept a constant theme musically to work on your discipline and hone your craft, that's really deep, man. Like,
thank you.
you know what I'm saying? Because and I know you know what I mean because
Yeah,
it's so easy to just try other things because like I said at that age you're still
yeah,
trying to figure out your personality and all kinds of things. So
exactly. Yeah. But I always found a place with music because like that was one of the things that no matter what I did, everybody was like, "Oh, wow, that's good." So I was like, "Okay." It kind of pushed me down that channel, and I mean, there were times where I even tell this story all the time where, like, when I was younger and I was mixing, I was producing, and like I lived in some questionable neighborhoods, but I remember I was producing with a slew of mans them, and I thought because I was producing for them, I was in the squad. You know what I mean? But they held me to a different regard. They knew something that I didn't. You know what I mean? So they came to me to record, and then they went to go make a move. And when they went to go make that move, I'm like, okay, cool. Since I'm recording you guys, I must be running with you guys. So I'm gonna, you know what I mean? So I'm getting ready to go, come up the top of the stairs. My dude looks at me. He's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, no, 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 no. You got too much sense for this. You got too much brains to be running around with these doing this stupid shit. Go back downstairs and finish mixing."
wow.
Yeah, he said by the time 2015 comes, you need to be asking for an office with a nice view. But I'd already decided I wanted to work from home, so I just got my community rebuilt.
That's 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 really dope, man.
Yeah, man.
So when you say get your community built, like what? You it matters to you, like you are
Oh,
like
yes, sir. They call me the
it's
block,
important
and
to you.
I took that very seriously because divine achievements bring life's opportunity carrying knowledge is how I affirm, you know what I mean, the name. And like I've always been raised in a family, like I'm very family oriented. I'm like
Same here.
like, you know what I mean? So when I looked at the community and looked at some of the shortcomings of the property, I was like, okay. I went to my gas company. I'm like, okay, I'm paying $300 for gas. Why? Why am I paying $300 for gas in a house that's supposed to be
Oh,
properly insulated, right? I
yeah.
said before, like all that money that you're making, you could use to retrofit the house so that the energy leakage from the older properties isn't an issue. They created a energy saving program.
Okay.
Then I went to my property because we had a flood, in the property after I asked them if there's any issues with the property, and they said no. So we had a flood. I'm 6'3". It came up to my shins. So I had records, I had wood, I had all kinds of stuff in the
Ooh,
basement. You know what I mean? Had to
damn.
knock that out. And that was some of that stuff was heirlooms from my grandfather. So I just said, okay. I wrote down a list. I went from the top floor to the bottom floor. Every room, every wall, every circuit, tested them all. And whatever wasn't working, I wrote it down. Whatever was working, I wrote it down. Whatever cosmetic issues there were, I wrote it down. Whatever necessary maintenance there was, I wrote it down. I gave them a list. I said, you guys have 6 months to address everything on this list or I'm going to court. Like, oh, you have every right to go to court. I said, okay. 6 months passed. They didn't do anything on the list. Went to court. We were allowed to pick 3 requests, 3 orders. The first order was that they pay me for all they pay me for damages. The second order was that they repair not just my unit, the entire property and bring it all up to code. There are 52 units on this property. It cost them upwards of $4 million.
So, what was the legal recourse? Like, say they were gonna just tell you, fuck you, I'm not gonna do it. Like, what would your next move have been?
The next move was to go to the landlord tenant board.
Okay.
And they basically did tell me, fuck you, I wasn't going to do it, even after I went to the landlord tenant board. So I had to go to the investigations and enforcement unit. Then I had to go to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Ministry of the Attorney General, the Office of the Premier, the Ombudsman of Ontario.
Damn.
Yeah, but yeah. I ran through them offices like a bull in a china shop. And I said, okay, here's the thing. You can either do it or you can lose your job. So they ended up creating a retrofit program for the entire province.
Mm.
And they're still going building by building and changing the windows. This is like 7, 8 years later.
Yeah, like it's weird because my wife and I, where we stay, we bought the property, and it's like I don't know what you call it where you're from, but it's like a closed community. Like
Okay. Private
so
community.
there's a body corporate. I don't know if you know what that means.
A body corporate?
Yeah, so okay, so what it means is like there's a select group of people that manage the property.
Yeah, that's like my condo. It's like my condo. Yeah.
Yeah, we call
Yeah.
them a body corporate here,
Yeah. Ours is called a board of directors.
board of directors. So annually they'll have a meeting just to talk about
Yeah.
their plans. Yeah, okay. So the walls are cracking, right? But not inside the house, like the walls outside. So when you drive around the complex,
Yeah.
the walls are cracking on the exterior. So body corporate said they were gonna fix that, right? They were gonna
Yeah.
do a whole revamp. They were supposed to do that 18 months ago and they haven't done it. So like what you're proving to me is unless you light a fire under these people's asses, man,
Yep.
they just don't do the shit that they said they were gonna do, you know?
Yep.
And on my side, they're really nice people, but you are paying every month,
Bro.
and it just gets to a point where you're like, look, I have to take a different approach to see some results.
You have a
So there's a
calculator?
board.
Yeah.
There's a board here that you approach. They're not part of the body corporate, but they're like an ombudsman, like a place
Yeah.
you go to report boards of property. And
Yeah.
then they get involved and say, okay, if you don't do this, these are the legal recourses, etc.
Yep. Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
looking to
That's like
do
our
that.
landlord tenant board. Yep.
I'm looking to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, bro. Don't let it slip. Don't wait on it, because even when you do it, it still takes time for them to act on it. So like
Okay.
I'm trying to tell people, like what I did once I won the case, I
Yeah.
took my affidavit, I erased all my information, and I went to every single person who was having the same problem, and I gave them a copy of it. I said, fill in, read this, read it, fill in what is required based on, you know what I mean, what your situation is, and then hand it in.
Right.
Yeah. So now, like, I don't know specifically the laws out there, but I know there's always a chain of command. And if someone isn't doing their job on the bottom rung, there's someone they answer to. You know what I mean? If we don't, like, yeah, we could get angry and cuss and, you know what I mean? But that doesn't do anything. That just gives them ground to, oh, I don't, scary black person I don't want to do. You know what I mean? But if you go in there, Bridget, sometimes I go in there and you hear me, so listen to me. One time 13 years ago, I used to cuss the officer of the premier like I was a foul-mouthed battle rapper, because I was. I was a foul-mouthed battle rapper.
Whoa.
But now,
Whoa.
yes, oh man, sunny days in the building. Okay. And yeah, but now I'll go in there like I'm a 1950s lawyer and be like, excuse me, sir. I do not appreciate I do not appreciate or will not tolerate the level of ignorance your bigotry is perpetrating towards my person.
Brilliant.
Understanding you have an obligation, if not a duty, to adhere to a civil course of action involving the remediation of the complications I presented to you. I also need you to address the fact that you are negligent in your responsibilities, as well as breaching the trust that we have established contractually as a service provider to client relationship. Now, further actions in this manner will lead me to take my business elsewhere, while expecting you to compensate me for my losses and any damages experienced in this complication. Oh, well, sir, 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 yeah, that's right. I know how to talk to you. I know how to talk to you. I just don't feel like talking to you like that.
That is impressive. Like, the wordplay there was just immaculate. I mean, the fact that you still can recite it off the top like that, woo!
Sip, sip.
That's
Sip, sip.
dope.
Yeah, man. Oh man, we got here. Brother knows the law. That's a brother who knows the law. That's a scary thing. It is. Regin, I'm telling you, it is a wonderful thing when they see you and can't touch you. It's a wonderful thing when they have to acknowledge you. I remember, oh my gosh, I could tell you stories. I'll tell you. Okay. Now, the law states in Canada, you have 6 days to notify Metro, the MTO, of changing your license plate. Okay, so I had one car. The woman I was with at the time had another car.
Okay.
I had no plates on my car. She had licensed and registered plates to her car. By law, I was allowed to put her plates on my car. And I had 6 days before I had to tell them. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm in Toronto. I'm by Don Mills and Eglinton. That's Flemo. It's like it's one of the harder areas, one of the more like gun related areas.
Okay.
So, but I'm just getting on the highway because I live by VP and Lawrence and like it's whatever. So I'm trying to get on the highway now for just before summer finishes to bring my nephews to Niagara Falls. We're gonna have a blast. We're gonna rent a hotel, whatever. So then they pull us over. These plates aren't registered to this car. I'm not driving. I don't have my license at the time. She's driving. But she's driving. 3 black men in the car. So they look at her like, are you okay? Are you sure you want to be here? Are you all right with this situation, ma'am? Blink twice if you're not.
Oh, wow.
On some shit like that, right?
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm sitting here like.
And you can hear all this.
I'm listening to them talk. I'm like, I said, her license plates are on the car, bro. What are you saying right now? They're her. Oh, well, we're gonna have to. They start questioning us. Where are you going? What are you doing? All of this shit. I'm like, going to the falls. I have 6 days to change my plates. Service Ontario's closed. Can you tell me what day I put these plates on, officer? Can you tell me the day, the specific day these plates went on this vehicle? Because I'm telling you today, and it's my vehicle. No? So instead of giving me a $5,000 ticket, they had to summon me to court.
Sir? Damn.
They summoned me to court while the woman was pregnant. I said, while the woman was pregnant, I said, so we're going to continue going back and forth to court until she gives birth. And then I'm going to have to come here feeding a baby and prove to you that I was well within my legal rights. 9 months later, I'm in the courtroom with the baby in my hand, the prosecutor looking at me like, this nigga done spoke way too much truth. You need to go sit over there with the baby. She can come up here to the bench. Because they didn't want me on record. They didn't want me on record because I told them how it was going to be. So I say this to say, equip yourself with all the laws related to your life.
Yeah. I must say, man, we in my side of the world, we can learn a lot from what you've just said, because I gotta tell you, on average, we don't even know 5% of our rights. So when in the face of law enforcement, they take advantage all the time because like we don't know the difference. The best you could do is get on the phone to a relative who is a lawyer and say, this is the situation. What are my rights? But I have always been impressed with how people from that side of the world know their shit.
Oh man,
Like
you
legally.
you should see my last episode of Candid Conversations. Sunny Days right now is in the chat, but like you think I know stuff?
Yeah.
That woman right there, like if I am a cannon, she is a nuke. If I am a cannon, she is a nuke. Okay, straight up. Like you.
That's like the Big L rhyme. The my guns go boom boom, your guns go
You're
pow
gonna go
pow.
pow pow.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She what was it, 2021, 2020? She organized the biggest demonstration of I want to say Afrocentric rights that Niagara has ever seen. And when I tell you that it put chills in my soul to create the music video related to that, bro,
How did you do that? How did you go about doing that?
what I did was I wanted it to be for the people. So I put out an all call for everybody that was there. And I said, submit whatever footage you have, pictures, images, interviews, whatever, submit it to me. And then I found I started working with artist Lushy Bantan, who has a song called Black Lives Matter, and it's available on all streaming platforms. So I took the Black Lives Matter song and the Justice for Black Lives movement, and I just married the two, and the images came out. And Regin, like at the end of it, someone is singing "Oh Canada," and I'm man enough to admit it. Like it brought a tear to my eye. The way the video, it was just like a bone-chilling, just sentiment of unity, and like it brought a tear. Like I was sniffling at my computer when I finished putting that video together.
Incredible.
So, yeah, man. And I got to commend her for doing it. I want to see her do it again. I want to see her do it every year, bro. Like, thank you. Thank you very much. She said I did a great job on the video. But yeah, that is definitely my goal. So yeah, unity, man. Just unity in the community, harmony and dignity.
Unity in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah. Oh man, I got to invite you back to an episode of the Terrell Effect. We got to play more of your music. We got to get, you know what I mean? We got to collaborate or something, cause like
man.
Yeah.
I'm down, man. Like I like your whole approach to this. Like you know, it's a different experience, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, that's what we go for, the culture shock.
The culture shock.
We go for the culture shock. Yeah. So yeah, man, and I appreciate you as well. Like you've been very educated, like, you know what I mean, informed. I like having these kinds of conversations. So, you know what I mean, definitely we'll set up another day for you to come back, and we'll play more of your music, get into the other half of the album. Maybe if you have more songs out there or like other songs that you want to forward, you can do that as well. And yeah, man, definitely. But before we go, is there anyone you want? Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, man. obviously, I'd like to shout out Leeds from Leeds Entertainment, Edutainment. Sorry, Leeds Edutainment. Shout out to Reef the Lost Cause. Shout out to Sin Castro, Zubs. Shout out to Crown Burgundy, Jimmy Wiz, everybody that really helped Red Mercury get to where it's at, and of course MJ Hip Hop Connects. You know what I'm saying? She's the plug.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. And Red Mercury is out on all digital streaming platforms. Go check it out at Bandcamp. Go cop it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to ask you, like, what your opinion of critics is.
Critics, like people who criticize.
Yeah, like critics, like by profession.
Oh, okay. A critic is someone who is trying to tear someone down when they aren't able to build themselves up. But at the same time, no one's ever going to criticize you if they're doing more than you. So you got to look at it that way. I like, you know what I mean? Like you don't have the time to talk about what I'm not doing right because you're too busy doing what you're doing.
Right.
Right. So if I have time to talk about what you're doing and it's not in a becoming manner, it's because I'm trying to pull you down. But why would I try to pull you down unless I was below you?
I hear you, man.
You know what I
I
mean?
hear you. Yeah, that's one of the things I drew on is like, because some cat wrote a review of the album, and it was the first critic to write about it, and I was doing some thinking, and I was like, well, I can take any form of criticism from someone that can make music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can make music, then
Mm-hmm.
your criticism has so much more value to me because it's like coaches. If you look at sports, most of them could play at
Yep.
some point.
Yep.
So that's different to somebody that doesn't understand how you compose or create, just tearing it apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're very right. It's like I wouldn't call myself a chef, but if I go into a kitchen and someone says, "Hey, you could add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that," I can take that. But if I'm in front of if I'm in a different situation, like if I'm on the football field or something like that, you know what I mean? I played offensive and defensive line. I know, you know what I mean, where I'm going, what I'm doing. So and you're playing tennis. Why are you telling me what to do?
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly,
You don't
man.
go back and forth like I do, but we go back and
Yeah.
forth. Yeah, but it's not the same. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. But oh man, it has been an honor and a pleasure to
Yeah.
have this conversation. I look forward to
Ditto.
future communication. You can
Indeed.
find me at Share the Shock on Instagram or at the Block
Yeah.
Online.
Yeah, I followed you.
All right, cool. I will definitely make sure I add you up just now. And then yeah. So it has been great. Let us reconnect. I do an annual Christmas show.
Okay.
I'm sorry, an annual New Year's show. This year will be the third annual show. It's not the
Okay.
man that's died outside the area whose criticism matters. It's a dude in the area with the dirt and sweat that matters. It's very true. So we do an annual Christmas show. This will be the third annual where we invite artists from all over the world to perform or participate in the performance by submitting a video or, you know what I mean, coming on for a few minutes. So I want to
Okay.
extend that to you.
Oh, thank you,
I
man.
know it's many months in advance, but it's already March.
That's even better. But yeah, you're right. It feels like January, but
You
it's
know what I
actually
mean?
March. Yeah.
It's already March.
Yeah. Damn.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Well, we'll be in touch about the particulars of that, man. Like how you. I'm just trying to visualize the format. So, when you say submit a video, what? Submit a performance video,
Yes.
or
Performance video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or you come onto the show and actually perform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Looking forward to it, dude.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So yes, we will talk. Sunny days. Thank you for watching. Everybody else who's been a part of it, appreciate you. This is the block for Honored Moocher saying thank you for your time. Bless up. We out.
Yeah.